talk about the first touchdown to Sansabacher? Did you guys catch something in the Toledo films that you could go on a fly pattern like that, or was that just Terrell on his own?
Well, it was a progression of reads, and we didn't know what they were going to do, and that was one of those all-purpose passes where if they were blitzing, big-time blitz with nobody deep, you know, we had a blitz cut, and if they were going to blitz with one high, we had another cut, and if they were going to blitz with, you know, rolling weak and so forth, we were going to have something else, and so he didn't know what was going to occur, and he just read it out, and I think because the O-line did a good job protecting it, and some windows occurred, and he could see that, you know, there went Dane. So it was just a progression read.
Would you talk about Sansabacher's one-hand catch? I mean, that's quite a catch.
Which one was that?
Second.
Oh, the second one. Oh, yeah. That ball was thrown in a hurry, and you know, right at the break. And you know, Dane's got good hands. You know, he's a steady guy. Nothing bothers him inside. You know, and there's a lot of bodies flying around, but nothing bothers him. He got thrust into the holder's role today because Jonathan's illness, and you know, handled that well. And I mean, Dane's a player.
Especially on the posing too.
Yeah, the one down the other end. Yeah, he let it go. It probably should have been thrown a little bit outside, but the timing was good, and the adjustment that DeVere made was very good. But I'm sure as we study it on film, at least I was kind of standing behind it, and I thought, ooh, that's a little too far inside. But the timing was good. Now we just gotta, you know, be precise on where we put it.
You guys were 17 and third down conversions. University, they were 3 of 15. How critical was that for both you and, I guess, for your defense? You all were.
Well, the fact that our defense did so well, they had them third and pretty long a lot. It's hard to get third down against our defense if it's only 3. If it's 3rd and 9, it's really hard. When you can get them off the field, you know, and all of a sudden our offense goes back out, and if we can then convert and keep the ball, we take the tempo, we take the rhythm out of Toledo's offense. So, you know, what you try to do as an offense is you seize the tempo of the game. You know, don't let it go the other way. And now that was huge by our defense to never allow them to get really any rhythm. And I don't know what their longest drive was, but I bet you there were a significant number of 3 and outs. And you know, we always say if you get 5 3 and outs, that's like a turnover. And I'm sure there were a significant number.
How much did your defense need that? I mean, based on the way last week's game finished with the long drive and stuff, how much did they need to shot in the arm?
You know, our defense just goes to work and evaluates their whole body of work. And, you know, I don't think our defense all of a sudden was feeling horrible about themselves because when we came up short Saturday night. I mean, they didn't feel wonderful, obviously, and wished that they could have provided more for the whole group. But I don't think that they, you know, all of a sudden were in the tank or, you know, had their heads down. They prepare, they compete. I thought our practices this week were very competitive. We went against one another a little bit because it was a little, you know, more similar styles and some of the things they do. And, they fly around. They, you know, you don't distract them from what they're trying to accomplish, whether it be with results or with a play that you might hit. They're going to go back to work and, you know, have the same thought process.
Did you feel this game, were you tested enough to prepare yourself for the Big Ten? I mean, do you get enough out of this?
Well, you know, we're going to assume that we were because there's no other alternative, and we're going to test ourselves in practice. And, I think it's a lot of how we view it. I mean, if we go as an offense and a defense and critically analyze ourselves as to where we can get better, then, you know, this was what we needed. And also, we've got to do a great job studying Illinois and all the rest, but it's exciting to get into league play. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Jim, a couple of quarterback sneaks today.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
No, there were a couple of whatever, like chances maybe last week, some people thought he could have snapped with that.
Well, you know, the thing I found out, you know, you guys brought up all this stuff about emails and all that. Well, a lot of those emails were from my offensive staff to me. And so, you know, they must have gotten their point across.
Jim, obviously Terrell did a lot of good things today, but the 2 interceptions, he has as many interceptions now this season as he did all last season. Is this season, you try to make more plays and do some things, or what do you see on some of them?
You know, I think he really thought the long one he threw, he stepped up and he started taking off, and then he saw him break open and going to put it in. And just as he slowed down, and it's a great lesson. We always say, step up and let it go, or step up and you go. But you can't step up and stop. And so he stepped up, thought he had it geared in, got banged as he threw it, all of a sudden got picked. So that was just something hopefully we'll learn from. And really he did, because later in the game he didn't step up and stop. He stepped up and the other one, I just think that, I'm not sure he read it out all the way, and the guy sank under the corner route, and again, we'll have to look at it again. The guy bluffed him a little bit, he sunk, and then he stepped back, and then he sunk again, and he kind of baited him in there. So, but as long as you know why you err, you got a chance to correct it.
Jim, can you talk,
Okay, last question.
can you talk about the Cleveland experience and for you coming back and just, I'm sure as a kid you dreamed of playing for the Browns, now today you got to coach in the stadium.
My dad was very honest with me. He told me to squash any dreams about playing with the Browns. But to start studying film. But it was a neat thing for a lot of us. As the guys pulled into the city, especially the guys from up here, and then we got to come here and walk around the locker rooms and go out to the field and go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then what I thought was really neat was to just see all the Ohio State folks walking all around yesterday and this morning, all the restaurants and stores, and kind of like a little mini bowl game weekend. And it was a warm feeling that that's a good thing for Cleveland. Anytime we can help one another and create a fun environment, and some guys can come home. Brian Browning was the honorary captain back home, and not honorary, but the offensive captain, and so and there were a lot of neat things about this experience. I was really happy as I looked at this schedule way back that that's going to be a great experience as we go, because we've got a couple at home, then we go to Cleveland Browns, then we come back home again, and to me that lined up as a good schedule, and this was a great experience for us. And what do they always say? There's no place like home, I just fantasized a couple times. I was looking across at the New York Giants, but anyway. Okay, we got some guys here.